Page 19, please. So we're going to start with exponents. Do you guys study exponents in grade 9?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, a little bit of review / definitions here. So the whole thing here, if you have a number, like A represents a number, but if I wrote 3 to the power of 2, the whole thing is called a power. Okay? Obviously, the little number that's floating up there is called, yes.
I'm sorry, can I get a worksheet?
Oh, sorry. Is the exponent, and there you go. The number that it is attached to is called the base. All right? So, if we have 4 to the power of 5, what is the exponent? 5. We're all excellent. I'm just going to write EXP because I'm lazy. And what's the base? 4. Okay. What about B? What is the base here? -3 is the base. I'll write B for base, and the exponent obviously is 6. Okay. Next little bit of terminology. We're not going to worry about that. If you have a number in front of the variable or the letter, variable is the letter, it is called a coefficient. Okay, so if you have the expression 7p cubed, the coefficient is 7. Okay, so tell me the coefficient in each of the following. A, what is the coefficient of 8x squared? 8, just the number in front, that's it. I'm gonna write COEF, that's my shorthand for coefficient. What's the coefficient in B? -3. You have to take the sign that's with it, okay? So, -3. What about C? I'm here. So, I'm hearing, here's the right answer. You guys are circling it. You're very close. There is a 1 in front of the A, but another way I could write this is like this. That means the same thing. So what's the coefficient if I write it that way? 1/7. Okay? So that is your coefficient. All right? So if you have a fraction, basically a variable divided by a number, remember that there's always a 1 there. If I wrote this, what's my coefficient? 2/3. Okay? It's always the number that is in front. And 2/3 is that. Okay? That's your coefficient. All right? Any questions about that? It's just silence out there. All right. I would like you to do numbers 1 and 2, please. So remember to the assignment section. Okay. So if you have 7p cubed, this right here, the only thing with the 3 on it is the p, right? That makes sense? The 7 doesn't have a 3 on it, right? This exponent is only attached to the p. Okay, so it means 7 times, and then there's 3 p's. If you write it in brackets, like this, it means the 7 is attached to the 3 as well, because it means 7p times 7p times 7p. Right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So all we're going to do right now is just write these out as an expanded multiplication. So 3a to the 4b. The 4 is on what letter only? A. So this means 3 and then 4 A's and then a B. That's it. That's what it means. And I know this is tedious and I'm not going to expect you to do this. We're just building so that we can get to the more complicated stuff without having to write it all out. Okay? All right. What is this exponent 4 attached to in here? The A and the B, because it's all in brackets. So it means 3 times, there's an AB there, times another AB, times another AB, times another AB. We okay with that? Okay. And we'll just do D. The 4 is attached to everything, exactly, because it's all in brackets. So it's 3AB times 3AB, 3AB, 3AB. Okay. Do we have calculators / phones in front of us? Perfect. Remember, you can only use a phone in class when we're doing work, not for a test or a quiz. But I'm fine if you use it for a calculator now. Now, everybody thinks because they have a calculator, they can do exponents pretty quickly. There are some tricks, okay, that trip people up all the time. So if I asked you to evaluate 10 to the power of 3, what is it? It's 1,000, right? Because it means 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. And if I said 3 to the power of 4, you would tell me 81. Okay. Now these two. -6 all squared, which is this one, is what? Positive 36, right? Because what it means is -6 times -6, and a negative times a negative is a positive. Correct? This one, -6 squared. Now, this is the one people get wrong all the time. Okay? This means, this 2, because there's no brackets on it, like this one, this negative is not included with this square. So it means negative, bracket, 6 times 6, which is what? 36 with the negative there, so it's -36. Okay? When people are punching stuff into the calculator, they forget this subtlety. Okay? If I asked you to do -4 squared, you would tell me -16. If I said -5 all squared, you would tell me +25. Because the negative is inside, that means -5 times -5, right? Whereas this means -4 times 4, which is why you get that. Okay? That's a subtlety. You will see that on a test or a quiz. Okay? Are we okay with that? All right. Before I do to the 0 power, you guys do the 0 power last year? Okay. Let's hold off on the 0 power stuff because it makes a little more sense if we do exponent laws. So let's go to this page here on, I don't know what page this is. 21, please. Did you do exponent laws last year? Yes? I hope. Okay. If I have 8 cubed times 8 squared, That means 8 cubed means 8 times 8 times 8, right? And 8 squared means, go away, means 8 times 8. How many 8s do I have here? 5, right? Does everybody agree with that? Which you can write as 8 to the power of 5. Correct? So the shortcut without having to do all that stuff is to just add the exponents together. Okay? As long as your base, which in this case is 8, as long as the bases are the same, you just add the exponents. So if I gave you a to the power of 3 times a squared, what's my base in either case? A. Okay. They're the same, so just add the exponents. So what's a cubed times a squared? A5. Okay. This is called the product law. Okay. And mathematically, we say a to the m times a to the n is equal to a to the m plus n. You just add the exponents. Is that okay? You know what? We're going to just, before we move on, I want you to do number 10, please, because it's all in the product law. We looked at the product law. Now we're going to look at the quotient law. Quotient is just a very fancy way of saying dividing. Okay. Well, you tell me. What is the trick? If I tell you that 8 cubed divided by a squared equals a to the 1, what do you do with the exponents? You subtract them. When you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. As long as the bases are the same, the bases have to be the same. So what is a cubed divided by a squared? A to the 1, right? You can write the 1, but most people don't write the 1. Okay? So, the mathematical formula, or the law, would be a to the m divided by a to the m, which is am over an, is a to the m minus n. The top exponent minus the bottom exponent, or the left exponent minus the right exponent. Okay? So if I gave you, let's go over here, 4 to the 10th divided by 4 to the 4, you would tell me the answer is rock stars. All right. Yep.
What if the first one, or the, I don't know the first one, but say like 10 and 4 were flipped?
We don't do that in this class, but if you had this,
Could you go into negative?
yes, you can. But that's grade 11 math.
If there's no number there, does that mean 1?
If there's no number, it's a 1, correct. So if you did that, sorry, I don't know what your name is. They just asked the question.
Danielle.
Danielle, sorry, Danielle. Yes, Danielle.
Yeah.
It would be 4 to the negative 6.
Okay.
But we don't get into negative exponents, like what they mean and stuff like that in this class. Okay? Number 11, please, people. Oh. So, ignore this. Anything to the 0 exponent, i.e. 10 to the 0, 3 to the 0, equals 1. Has everybody heard that before?
Yes.
Some people have, some people haven't. It doesn't matter what the base is. It does not matter what the base is. So if I say a to the 0, you say 1. If I say happy face man, look at this artistic. Look at that. To the 0 power, what do you say? I thought I'd get a little more oomph there. Pretty good drawing, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Right.
1. So happy face man to the 0 power, who has no hair, and no ears apparently. 1.
When you're working with negatives as a base, does that make it -1 or 1? Just a positive 1.
Okay, so we'll just do these then. So 6 to the 0 is -9 to the 0 is. Oh. Happy face man to the 0 is. 9 to the 0 is. Thank you. -9 to the 0 is. No. Why is it -1?
It doesn't have brackets.
Because it doesn't have brackets. The 0 is only applied to the 9. So it means this. That's what it really means. Okay? The 0 is only applied to the 9. So 9 to the 0 is 1. And then this little negative hanging out in front just stays there. So this is -1. What's this answer?
Yes.
2. What's 6 squared? 36. So this would be 2 times 36 to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So then this becomes 2 times 1, which is, why am I erasing everything? 2. Has anybody told you why it's 0? Why it's 1? Or did it say, hey, just know that it's 1? Do you want to know why it's 1? It's not like some magical just, well, let's just invent this. Let's make it 1. There's an actual reason. Okay? Are you ready for your first mathematical proof? Sure. You know what a proof is? It proves the idea, right? Like I'm telling you, anything to the 0 power is 1. Why? Why is that? It's not like you can just make stuff up in math. It has to actually make sense. Okay? So let's pause the video here. So, all right, the power of a product rule. So, if I have 8 times 7, all raised to the power of 3, that means 8 times 7 times 8 times 7 times 8 times 7, which means we have 3 8s. Whoops. Okay. Which can be written as 8 to the 3rd, and we have 3 7s, which they didn't for some reason write. Why is this erasing? Okay, what? What? There we go. Okay. So we have 7 times 7 is 7, which is 7 cubed. How do I go from here to here without doing all this junk in the middle? What's the shortcut? Add the 8s together. Well, I just want to go from here directly to there. How do I do that?
Add the exponent to both numbers.
Yes, this exponent goes to both numbers. Okay? So if I have AB cubed here, ignore all this. What is my answer here? Where does this 3 go? It goes to both exponents. So it should be A cubed, B, not B to the B, B cubed. Okay? So if you have an exponent on the outside of brackets with 2 terms, or 2 coefficients, or 2 variables, the exponent goes to both. This is the power of product law. So this would be A to the M, B to the M. Same thing if you have a fraction. I know we're all scared of fractions. That's okay. All right? If you have an exponent on the outside, that exponent goes to the numerator and the denominator, is applied to the numerator and denominator. So if I have a over b cubed, my answer would be a cubed. Oh, why do I keep writing b? Over b cubed. And this is the power of the quotient. You don't have to remember the titles, just how to use them. So this would give me a to the n over b to the n. And the last rule that you need to know, and I will write the rules on the board, so you don't have to, I mean, it's nice if you remember them, and we're going to use them enough that hopefully you do remember them, but I will have them on the board for us, even during tests and quizzes. If you have an exponent to, like, you have this term with an exponent raised to another exponent, I'll tell you right now, the answer is 8 to the 6. How do I go from there to there? What do I do to the exponents? You multiply the exponents. Okay? So if I have a cubed raised to the power of 2, that is just a to the 6. And this is written as a to the m times n. All right. Now we're going to apply this. Okay? So there's only 5 minutes left. We're just going to do a couple of questions here. 3 to the power of 4 times 3 squared. Next page, 22. How do I write this? Without evaluating each term and then multiplying it, how do I write it as a single term? 3 to what power? What did you do? You add them. 3 to the power of 6. And then if I have asked you to evaluate it, what is 3 to the power of 6? Anybody put in their calculator? 729. All right. B. Negative 2 to the power of 5 over negative 2 cubed. Bases are the same. We are dividing. So what do you do with the exponents? You subtract them. So what is it? Negative 2 to the power of 2. Because 5 minus 3 is 2. What's negative 2 squared? Positive 4. Five squared times 3. So we have an exponent in here being raised to another exponent. What do you do with those exponents? You multiply them. That is this rule right here. Power of a power. So it's 5 to the power of 6. Can anybody tell me what that is? 15,625. You punch it in your calculator. All right, we're going to stop there. I should feel like I need to give you one question. Let's do number 8, please. That's your homework. You can probably do it in the last couple minutes of class.